Highway.
Y'all know what this is.
You know the vibe, bro. It's Saturday Night Antics, bro. We got a great show tonight, man. We are in the Winter Storm 2026. Shout out to everybody who's hunkered down for the Winter Storm of Storms. All right, let me know if you guys are in the storm zone, man. Are you guys getting the freeze, the ice, snow, and all that? Let me know in the comments. Shout out to everybody joining us live. Do appreciate you. We have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be we're going to talk about Christian Parker. We're going to talk about some prospects, free agency, basically the roadmap under the Christian Parker defensive regime. All right. So yeah, man, shout out to all you guys out there joining us live and around the world, as I say. It's good to have everybody back live here with us. All right. So I got the UFC running here in the background. Sugar Shane O'Malley got the win here, looks like. Main event about to pop off. So we're gonna have some fun tonight, man. So sit back, enjoy, and we're gonna talk a lot of Cowboys football and who else, what else. We'll talk about whatever. Appreciate any comments, questions. I'll put them up here, and we'll discuss anything that you guys want to talk about, and we'll discuss it. All right. So tonight, the roadmap to retooling the Cowboys defense. Like I said, we got Christian Parker, and I'm pleased with the hire. You know what I mean? I thought it would either be Jim Leonard or Christian Parker. Even Durante Jones sounded like a really good fit for the Cowboys. What I really like is that he's getting to bring in his team, his assistants. You know what I mean? I didn't want this to be where we hired the top dude, the defensive coordinator, and we're keeping the remnants. I'm glad to see that we're looking at new D line coaches and we're looking at linebacker coaches, and he's gonna build his assistants the way he wants. No remnants, which is good. All right. So I love that, man. I love that. Drum King, good to see you in the chat box. What's up, man? San Antonio. Hope you guys are doing good here through this winter storm as well. So far, so good. But I think the real tell will be tomorrow with power outages and that sort of thing. So glad to get the show in tonight before the mayhem begins. All right. Hopefully none of that happens. But shout out to everybody in the storm zone, covering a large part of the U.S. Saying about 180 million people are going to be affected by this huge storm. So if you guys are in that, shout out to you guys. Hope everybody makes it safe. Appreciate that, man. Oh man, Sleet Fest here, Sabolo. Yeah, man. Stay safe out there, man. Dallas is being hit hard. Storm of storms. Your boy Mike in the house. Good to see you in the chat box, bro. Appreciate you for stopping by. I'm glad we're letting CP pick his own guys. I really hope we get rid of Aaron Whitecotton. Sounds like we are. I don't know why so many Cowboys want him back. He wasn't good at all. He was weak. Yeah. I don't get that either. You know what I mean? He wasn't good. The Jets let him in, and the Jets were terrible too, man. Really, his claim to fame was that the Quinnen Williams was, an All Pro Bowler, and he happened to be the defensive line coach. Quinnen Williams basically does this on his own. I mean, they all need coaching, but Quentin Williams is at another level of a defensive tackle. So I didn't buy that, and we saw it with this D line. Nobody stepped up. Nobody improved under White Cotton. He's got to go, bro. So it's good to see that the Cowboys are letting these guys pursue other opportunities. He can go, bro. So glad to see it. Appreciate that, your boy Mike. I appreciate that. Fisher Parker. Yep, I agree with that, man. A plus hire. I like the hire. You think it was Hardball to score on this DC? Yeah, it will be. Hardball overrated. You know what I mean? He got a Super Bowl many years ago. Um, and I'm not even scared about it, dude. Honestly, I'm not, man. So, some fans might be scared, but I'm absolutely not. And whenever these coaches start to bounce around, they're never the same. They're never the same. You know what I mean? I mean, we even got that from McCarthy. We did get some. I mean, he'll succeed, but he's not going to be like this freaking guy who's going to be dominating the division. So I'm not afraid about it, man. Okay, I don't know about that, but all right. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into the roadmap for this team. All right. Let me post this up here and we'll get this going. We're also going to do some mock drafts tonight, guys. Can't wait to get into those. That's going to be a fun segment. Shout out to everybody watching live and around here. Appreciate you guys for hopping in here. It's Tulsa. All snow, man. Hopefully you guys don't get too much out there and don't lose power. What's your opinion on McCarthy to the Steelers? I think it's a good fit. You know what I mean? Pittsburgh raised type of dude. Um, but a lot of people there's a phase right now going on with the NFL as far as like the youth movement, which I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're seeing a lot of that from the Steelers fans. A lot of the Steelers fans are upset with it. They wanted to go. They wanted to go on this trend with everybody else, the younger route. So I feel them, but I mean, he'll succeed there. That division sucks. Hardball is now gone from there. Cincinnati sucks. The Browns, they can't even get it. They do some goofy stuff on their interviews. I don't know if you saw that, but they make their candidates take a personality test, a math test, and some other shit. And I'm like, dude, fuck that, dude. Like, I wouldn't, you know, hire me on what I've done. I'm not here to be taking no exams. So a lot of these guys have actually withdrawn their candidacy from the Browns. The Browns are a complete mess. I keep saying this. They're going to move again to Baltimore. They're sorry, but I think McCarthy's going to succeed there. They probably do need to draft a quarterback there. They're talking about maybe Aaron Rodgers staying there another year or two. But they got to get a quarterback. You know what I mean? So we'll see what they do there. But I think they'll be at the top of the division. Oh, let's see what we got here. What else we got? Imagine the Eagles hire the OC from the Colts. No OC wants to be on the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles are. I don't know what's going to happen with the Eagles, man. Some people are defecting there. They kind of had a weird ending to the season. There seemed to be some upheaval in the locker room there. AJ Brown and some of these guys. Space Cowboy, what's up, bro? Good to see you in the chat box. First time the Cowboys have had a first time head coach, OC, and DC since 1989. How about that for a stat line there? That's pretty cool, man. That is nice. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, here we go. Jim Buckner is supposed. Yeah, I saw that too. What a name, right? I want to say he was. I want to say he was with Detroit at some point, right? I think he was with. I think he had to stop in Detroit at one point. He'll be the guy in Philly. We'll see how that goes for them. um, I really don't think Philly's gonna. I don't think they're gonna do that good next year. I think it's gonna be Cowboys and Giants. Washington's gonna be in the pits. They don't have a quarterback. He can't stay healthy. Dan Quinn, the gas already ran out on that program there, so they'll be done. It's gonna be Cowboys and Giants next season. You think Harbaugh will be scared of this defense? I don't know. Do you? I mean, as it is right now, I wouldn't be. Would you? They got to get players in here. You know what I mean. So if we're talking about right now, probably not. You know what I mean. But we got an upgrade at defensive coordinator, Vanjo Tree, Vic Fangio Tree. It's a good tree to put in here. So I think it's going to be a good move here, and we'll see what happens there, man. We ultimately don't know how our season will go next year. However, at least we are taking actions outside the box. 30-year drought finally set in with the Jones. Yeah, I think so, man. I think that I mean I'm hoping, dude. I mean, 30-year drought is officially they officially hit it this February, right? So that is a long time, dude, and it's a long time to not draft a quarterback in the first round as well. I don't expect that to change. This probably isn't the year for them to do it. You know what I mean? It's not a good QB class. Probably, if anything, maybe they might do it next season. I think you have a better chance there with Arch, CJ Carr. You got some other guys. You got the A&M kid, Marcel Reed. He might come out. I think 2027 will be where you might look at a quarterback. But let's get this graphic on here, and let's talk about this roadmap. Okay, hold on, give me one moment while I get this posted. Let me see, where do I have it at? Here we go. This is my roadmap. This is my Christian Parker roadmap to retooling the Cowboys. Particularly, I'm talking about the defense, right? So, Christian Parker, welcome to the Cowboys. Free agent targets. Free agency's coming up here in March. We're pretty close to getting to that, but we do have Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl. We'll talk about some of those guys that'll be fits for a coach here. So let's talk about this roadmap here now. Let me pull up my notes. Yeah, we'll talk about it, man. We'll talk about this in great detail about these players, these prospects, just overall fits here. Like I said, coming from good programs, Mike Pettin, Vance Joseph, and a lot of his influences from Vic Fangio. So he's going to want players that are similar to this. And I think that these are some of the guys to keep an eye on. Let's talk about free agency here. All right. Reed Blankenship, safety for the Eagles. He's going to be a free agent. Phenomenal player. He's a really good player, man. He's been a pain in the Cowboys' ass for a while. And Parker, he's a secondary coach. That's his bread and butter. And it's something the Cowboys really need to elevate as far as like their play. And secondary was a disaster. Whole defense was, but particularly the secondary really, really fell off. So Reed Blankenship will be a target. Jaquan Miller, he's going to be a target for the Cowboys, possibly. What you like about him is he's a versatile press coverage. He's familiar with Parker's teaching style, and he's going to add competition to that secondary. So look for these type of players: Reed Blankenship, Jaquan Miller, PJ Locke is another name to keep on. Physical safety under Parker's system as well, capable of run support and zone rotations. It's a heavy rotation defense. They like to keep it fresh. They like to keep it, going nonstop pressure. And these are guys to keep an eye on. Also, Nakobe Dean, he'll be a linebacker. He's a good linebacker. He'll be an upgrade over what we have in the linebacker room right now. Only thing with him is like his health, right? I feel like I like him, but he's probably gonna miss some time, and that's just one thing that I hate. I hate when players miss time. Like uh, Overshown has just missed a whole lot of time. He's not the same player. Uh, we get guys getting knocked out, concussions, all kinds of bull crap. So, but Kobe Dean, I think will be a good addition here. I don't know that I feel like Shamar James. Maybe he gets elevated if we get the right linebacker coach in here. They're talking about bringing in one of the linebacker coaches from the Eagles, one of the assistant linebacker coach. That would be good because I mean the Eagles linebackers they play pretty good. I like the way they play. Trey Hendrickson, he's probably going to hit free agency. A little bit long in the tooth though. He won't be cheap. Cowboys, I don't know if they would actually spend money on him because just because of the money, right? So he would be good. He's a proven pass rusher. He can win without the heavy blitz. He can win on his one on ones, um, and he would be good in a 4-man rotation for the Cowboys. You know what I mean? If it's a 4-man or 5-man front, whatever the Cowboys are going to do, he'll be one of these type of dudes. Jalen Phillips, who the Eagles actually traded for this past season, he'll be in the mix, but he'll definitely probably be out of uh, out of the price range. But that's one guy. Parker's scheme is really, playing in front, attacking, man coverage. And they just mix it up with zone coverage as well. He wants players who excel in zone coverage, press, communication, versatile, and they can play in different kinds of roles. So he's going to be looking for these types of players. And that's why I'm looking at these players for the roadmap because they fit that type of archetype. You know what I mean? Um, looking at the Senior Bowl, I have a lot of notes on these guys, and I'll show you what I have so far. But some guys just off the rip that I've been looking at, and we'll see how these guys do in practice. But Davison Igbenonson, is cornerback. He's a guy that fits this. Bud Clark, Scooby Williams, linebacker, and T.J. Parker. These guys from the Senior Bowl, just a few that fit. Davison length, they like that. The pattern man, like kind of just like shadowing your receivers. You get a lot of that, and then Parker's secondary, like matching what they do, like shadowing. Um, he calls it a pattern match zone concepts. That's kind of what they call it there under Vic Fangio. And Davison fits that. He's out of Ohio State, right? So keep an eye on him. Safeties are very important in the scheme. Bud Clark, keep an eye on him. He's a safety out of TCU, versatile. You can play deep coverage and in the box. So that's what you want in this system, and he would be a good fit. AJ Halsey, another one, size range. He could be the brains of that secondary of that unit. You know what I mean? He can quarterback it. He can play that two high safety that they like to run there with Fangio, and he would do good there. Kamari Ramsey's another guy out of USC. He has a good blend of coverage and run support as well. Good instincts. So these are guys from the Senior Bowl to keep an eye on that they kind of fit a little bit closer than some of the other prospects that I've looked at so far. Scooby Williams, like I said, linebacker. You want a linebacker like that who will fit into this system, and we're talking about versatility. You know what I mean? Cowboys have always been about versatility, but Parker and Vic Fangio, they like these plug and play guys who can, just really mirror the other guy and just limit the big plays. And that's what the Vic Fangio system is: limit the big plays, limit the big chunk yards, keep everything in front of you. And Scooby Williams, he's out of Texas A&M, very athletic. He can match your tight ends in coverage, and he can hang with them. So you'll want some of that skill set in your linebackers that can cover as well as tackle. And those are kind of hard to find. But I like what Scooby Williams does. I like what he's been doing at A&M. He'll be at the Senior Bowl, so he's somebody to watch, right? TJ Parker, the edge out of Clemson, is another guy that you want to keep an eye on. Came into the season highly touted. I liked him. In one of my very first mock drafts, I had TJ Parker there. But his 2025 season wasn't as good. Kind of the same deal with Peter Woods. You know what I mean? So those two guys didn't have the best of 2025 season, but the whole Clemson defense in general, and the whole team kind of had a disappointing season. But he'll be there at the Senior Bowl. TJ Parker, all right. Um, Powerful pass rusher, and he can be a good, uh, rotational player there for the Cowboys. TJ Parker probably has fallen to a late first rounder, probably more of a second round player at this point, depending on which film you're looking at. LSU has a good one too. Jack Pryburn gives you that interior presence. He can help free up your linebackers who can roam a little bit better. Something that's also important in what Parker's going to want to do. Because I mean, you look at the behemoth defensive tackles that the Eagles have, that they have really invested in, and that's why I think they're going to bring back Kenny Clark. You got Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams. Those two are right there. I mean, if not even better than what the Eagles have right now, defensive tackle, right? So you got to have some big dudes there, and those two guys fit the bill. So find a way to extend or rearrange Kenny Clark's contract, bring him back, extend Quentin Williams, lower the cap number, and help out your defensive coordinator with some artillery, some weaponry, bro. I love it, man. So keep an eye on that one. Another player out of the Senior Bowl to keep an eye on, Zion Young out of Missouri. Versatile, like I said, versatility is the name of the game here that they're going to want to look at. He's a guy that can play in different, multiple fronts. A player that would fit perfect for what they want to do here. Now with Parker officially in the mix here. You know what I mean? We talked about the safeties, the cornerbacks. If you're looking at like in the draft, some players that really stick out right now early in the process here, obviously Caleb Downs. Would he make it to 12 for the Cowboys? This guy would really be a perfect fit for the too high coverage, the too high show that the Fangio system runs in Parker. If he's there, I think he would be in high consideration. High consideration. Caleb Downs, excellent ball skills. Like I said, um, pattern matching. Like I said, that's kind of what you're going to be hearing here out of the Parker system. Pattern matching. Two high safety system. Caleb Downs would be a perfect fit for the Cowboys when we're talking about overall, like your draft, right? Another safety that I want you guys to keep on is Emmanuel out of Toledo. He's also going to be at the Senior Bowl, so keep an eye on him. Long, rangy safety out of Toledo. He can play deep. He can play in the box, and he fits in that too high system as well. Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo. Keep an eye out on him. Zakee Wheatley out of Penn State. I like him. Also plays well deep coverage, physical profile. I like him. Keep an eye on him. He would be another safety to keep an eye on because I really don't think the Cowboys are going to keep both Wilson and Malik Hooker. I mean, both of them could be gone. Maybe they keep one of them, but either way, you got to add another safety in the mix, whether it's Reed Blankenship in free agency or drafting one of these cornerbacks, or safeties. I'm talking about, right? Cornerback Mansour Delane. You know what I mean? He's being projected anywhere from like the top 10 all the way to the late 20s. Cornerbacks, you just never know where that run is going to be and who falls in love with these guys. But Mansour Delane, I think he's a solid one. He would be a good fit here for for Parker. You know, a lot of press, zone traits, fits that pattern matching skill set that that Parker really wants to install here. He's going to want to install that. So Mansour Delane, I think he hits all the check marks there for that. Another safety that I like in this draft class is Dylan Finneman out of Oregon. I talked about him really early in the draft process. Like in one of my early mock drafts, I really like him. Smart safety, too high coverage. I think that's another one you want to look at. Zion Young, I think I talked about him. That this guy's going to go anywhere from the third round on. So these are guys to look at. Um, like I said, you want coverage, you want ball hawks, right? That's the roadmap here, and you want pass rush reinforcements, right? We need more guys in here. We don't have them right now. Donovan Ezaraku still developing. I mean, he only had like what was it, 3 sacks or two? I don't even know. It was really low. It was below the average for a rookie pass rusher. So you got to get those reinforcements. Yeah, I do like Clowney, but he's long in the tooth, man. So Cowboys are going to do what they do. Free agency, they're probably going to go the cheap route, but at least kind of get the players that Parker's going to want to get. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot of options just as far as like how much do the Cowboys want to spend, but you do have to get the pass rush reinforcements on the way. The athletic linebackers with coverage skills. That's another thing I'm highlighting here. So you got to have the secondary that can cover. You need ball hawks. You need guys that can go sideline to sideline, pattern matching. Mirroring, step for step. You know, uh, Versatility. You need players that can rotate in and out. So depth is going to be very important on the Parker system. But you also need brains. You need a guy who's capable of being on the field with the green dot. You know what I mean? So they're gonna have to figure that out at linebacker. Is it gonna be a rookie linebacker who takes that over, or do they bring in the Kobe Dean and let him be that guy? So either way, they got to figure out that linebacker position. They got to figure out your safeties and how how good do you feel about the secondary? How good do you feel about the secondary? Let's see what we got in here. Yeah, I talked about him. Keep an eye on him. He'll be here at the Senior Bowl. You want to keep an eye on him out of Toledo. A lot of people are not talking about him. They're kind of stuck on Caleb Downs, and that's the only safety apparently in this draft. This is a better safety draft than last year, in my opinion. They can be had. The only problem with the Cowboys is you don't have enough. You don't have enough picks. You know what I mean? You have the 2 first rounders. You got your 4th, and you're gonna get some comp picks in the 5th. So some of these guys, they may go later. You know what I mean? But for guys that are gonna be an impact, they're gonna have to really, be very methodical in what they do. So we'll see what the Cowboys do, man. Hopefully they attack free agency differently than they have previous seasons, and really get to work. I think if we're going to continue to see some change here, philosophy wise, or some more Brian Schottenheimer influence, we need to see these guys be busy week 1, week 2. You know what I mean? Because if they're waiting for that last wave, the clearance bin, you don't have enough draft picks to supplement a weak free agent class. So we'll see what happens there with it. But that's the roadmap that we have here for Christian Parker. This is keep an eye on these types of names. There'll be many more, but these guys really stick out right now as we're looking at late January. So this is the roadmap. Good to have Christian Parker in the house. So do like that indeed. Like that indeed. Let's see what we have here in the chat box. Well, how do you guys feel about some of these prospects? Let's see, Dante Fowler. Yeah, not a fan of him. Never was. The Cowboys, they like that. They like that archetype, the first round bust. So look for somebody like a Joey Bosa to be in the mix. Former first round player, kind of a bust, has injury history. You can probably get him cheap, right? So Cowboys, they love that shit. McClay, right up his alley. So look for a Joey Bosa to replace somebody like a Fowler. Fowler's done. Too old. It really was ineffective for us. You know what I mean? Um, let's see what else we got in here. What other questions or comments do we have in the chat box? Yep, Vinny. Yeah, I do like him indeed. I think he's a good one. I liked him from the start, and he's a guy that'll should be in the mix for the Cowboys, and then would fit this system as well. Bro, what about Devin Lloyd from the Jaguars? Draft Tony Styles and corner and safety too. Devin Lloyd is another good name to put in the mix because he fits that profile, right? Kind of didn't really live up to his draft status. You know what I mean? His impact hasn't been what they thought it was going to be. Cowboys, and also the thing about him, I want to say the Cowboys actually had this dude in as a 30 visit, Devin Lloyd, and they like that. They like to bring in guys that they actually had one on ones with previous 30 visit type of dudes. So that's something to always go back and look at your previous 30 visits with some of these guys that are hitting their fifth year and they're hitting free agency because they didn't get the fifth year picked up. So yeah, man. I mean, Devin Lloyd could definitely be in the mix. Um, as far as like what you could get for him in price, it would probably would be cheaper. You know what I mean? You put him on a 1 year deal, prove it deal. Cowboys love those 1 year, 2 year deals for these guys that didn't get their fifth year option picked up. You know what I mean? It's kind of like McClay kind of sees us as reclamation projects. A lot of them don't hit though. That's what holds back the team. So we'll see if they change their strategy because of that strategy of getting some of these former busts hasn't worked out as well. You know what I mean? They are familiar names. They did have good. Uh, I mean, they went high. First round picks and these kinds of things, but not getting that fifth year option is kind of a red flag. But it is a green flag for Will McClay. He loves that shit. So keep an eye on some of those types of names. And I have a free agency extravaganza video that I'll be releasing here upcoming next week. Tell you about what to expect from a Will McClay free agency. All right. The names to really hone in on, right? And whether or not they would even be fits for Parker. Hopefully they go with the strategy of, Parker has a little bit more influence and said, hey, get me this guy, get me this guy. You know what I mean? Because if they try to force a circle into a triangle like they've been doing, it ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? So they gotta be better with this. And you would think in 30 years of GMing that they would have this figured out. Literally every season, it's trial and error. Like they still haven't have this thing figured out yet. It's freaking insanity to the 10th degree. Quay Walker, I like this one, man. I've always been a fan of Quay Walker, and I think he's a good player. I would consider him. He's an upgrade. You know what I mean? He's an upgrade over just about every linebacker that we have in the room. You know what I mean? That linebacker room is garbage, dude. It's not good, And then when you put that subpar linebacker room with a coach like Eberflus, who was supposedly a linebacker whisperer, and I said this before, Eberflus he owes a lot of credit to Sean Lee because Sean Lee was such a badass linebacker. It made him look good, but it wasn't him. It was Sean Lee, dude. Sean Lee was the badass of the linebackers, and it made Eberflus look like, oh, he did this. He built Sean Lee, which wasn't the case, dude. Sean Lee was one of these badass Penn State linebackers who came out of a line of badass Penn State linebackers during that time, right? You had Navarro Bowman, Sean Lee, and I mean, they had a good run there of really high end linebackers. Wasn't Eberflus? Eberflus rode those coattails of Sean Lee. It bought him a lot of capital, dude. He wasn't no fucking linebacker whisper. That Eberflus sucked, dude. I mean, you saw it with our linebackers. None of them took a step forward. In fact, they looked like they took a step back. If anything. So I'm so glad that Eberflus is out of here, man. This is another good one too, Vinny. I like that one. Quincy Williams from the Jets is another good one to keep an eye on. Um, that's a name to keep an eye on. C.J. Allen from Georgia, yeah, that's another one that would probably be a fit for Parker. He was being mocked really early. He's kind of falling a little bit now in a lot of mock drafts. So, could you get him as a steal in the 20s? I mean, it's looking like that's going to be possible. I mean, some people have him even going in the second round. It's almost like he's kind of even. It's almost like he's getting the Kobe Dean treatment. If you remember when the Kobe Dean came out, he was being mocked in the early first round, and he just kept falling and falling. And when the draft got here, it was like, dude, what the hell's happening here? I think he ended up going in the third round. So CJ Allen, I wonder if he's going to be in in that similar category. Brisker from the Bears would be outstanding, but he's going to demand some money. That dude, he can play, dude. That guy, I like Jaquan Brisker. I'm a big fan of his play, dude. Physical. He's always around the ball. That's what you want, out of your safety. He would fit the Parker system good too. Um, but the money, he would be one of those first wave type of free agents. You know what I mean? And I don't know if the Bears are going to let him go. Is he a free agent? I mean, they might even franchise tag that dude. I mean, he's. I would say he's probably one of the leaders on that defense. So, but even if he were to hit free agency, Cowboys, I don't think they would spend the money. That's just not their mo, which is unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's very unfortunate. Um, so that's that on the roadmap. Who wants to do some mock draft insanity? Who's down for it? I think we need to get that going now, Burrowhemoths. Mm, let me share this real quick. Let me see if I can get this. Um, let's see if I can share this here real quick. Um, let's go here. This is a little bit what I have right now so far on my Senior Bowl notes. Um, Senior Bowl is coming up here next weekend. But I got a lot of notes here as far as like who I like. Danny Dennis Sutton. I was real high on him. Not sure if he would be the fit now that we have for Christian Parker, but I would say he's still versatile. So maybe he still might be. But I think he's one of the defensive ends. Katron Allen, the running back out of Penn State. Love that dude. Zane Durant, Cario Davis. I mean, there's a lot of players. Jack Pryburn. He's another guy that would be a nice fit here for Parker's defense. Key Wheatley, like I said. Michael Toff, I like him. I think he would be a good fit here for the secondary as well. Talking about safety. Will Lee, Jalen Kilgore. There's, like I said, there's a lot of safeties in this draft class, which will be good. Jacob Rodriguez, I like him, man. He's just a good linebacker. What's going to be interesting to see is if we get away from McClay's metrics. McClay has always been about these freaking metrics about he wants linebackers to be a certain size, a certain weight, arm length. He wants, he's high on arm length and this kind of crap. I just want players that can play. And Jacob Rodriguez is this. To me, he's like he reminds me a lot of Zach Thomas, who actually also came from Texas Tech. So kind of a similar type of player. Maybe not the tallest player, but the guy can play linebacker, man. So I like that, man. He'll be at the Senior Bowl. Kamari Ramsey, safety out of USC, like I said. Luke Altmaier, one of the quarterbacks in the Senior Bowl. It's a guy that maybe you take a flyer on him, add him in a practice squad. You got to give Joe Milton competition. I will say that Joe Milton doesn't look like the answer at all, man. That medium pass range, it sucks for him, dude. He can throw that deep ball, but not even that is that good. So they got to be looking at throwing some darts at quarterback, maybe with some of these fifth rounders, maybe your seventh, at least for this year, and then maybe take it serious in 2027. Tight end, I think, is going to be in the mix for the Cowboys. I'm not saying early, but with one of those fifths, you could look at adding another line. I mean, another tight end. Tight end room kind of sucks. Ferguson, I think he hit his ceiling. Schoonmaker, he sucks. Brevin Spanford, they've been talking about this dude since we drafted him. Hasn't really done much. You know what I mean? And they've given him opportunities. So it's time to add another guy in the mix. Casey Concepcion, yak wide receiver out of A&M. I like him. There was a guy that I was studying here who I like as a Turpin replacement. Oh yeah, Barian Brown. I like this guy. He's got the speed, return ability, space weapon, Turpin replacement, route detail beyond his speed. So Barian Brown, wide receiver, a late rounder kind of guy, but somebody that could probably replace Turpin. Oh, but he's a second all team and this and that. Turpin sucks, dude. I'm about to get the mock draft kicked off, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta take a quick break. Give me one moment. Who's watching this fight, man? Who's watching this UFC fight? Any of you guys watching this main event action? Gaethje, Pimlet, badass fight, dude. Yeah, let's get into the mock draft portion of tonight's Saturday Night Antics, bro. Who's ready to get this going? Let me pull this up. Okay, we did that there. Let's go ahead and pull up the simulator. Pro Football Network. All right, let me see. Here we go. Can't be reached. What the hell's going on here? NFL draft, mock draft simulator. Probably need to, let's see. Oh, here we go. Got it. 2026. All right, let's pull this up, baby. Pro Football Network. Mock draft insanity, bro. Share screen. Oh, Pimlet, dude. Man, dude, I want this guy to get knocked out, dude. I want Gaethje to knock this dude out, dude. Come on. All right. Oh man, here we go. Okay. Tarko Charlton. They were utter disasters, bro. Right. I think the best player that we have gotten out of there has been Jordan Lewis. You know what I mean? Probably been the best players that we have drafted that we've gotten from there has been old Jay Lou. These other guys have been terrible. And the one that was the biggest black eye was the Mozzie Smith interaction with McCarthy. It really highlighted how bad that evaluation was from McClay. I mean, he sold it. I mean, he pretty much forced it on them. They should have gone Bergeron, dude. I'll never forget that. It was just such a terrible look for McClay. I really wish they had the behind the scenes footage of when they took Taco. Like I wonder if he did the same shit. Like we gotta go Taco over Watt or shit like that. Can you imagine, bro? I bet they burnt that footage, dude. They don't want that out there. God, dude, that's fucking hilarious. All right, we're gonna do Cowboys here, and let's go 5 rounds for now. Okay. All right, here we go. Cowboys. All right. So let's take a look at who got taken. All right. Mendoza, Ruben Bain. Got a lot of Cowboys fans are big on Bain. I wonder if he's gonna fall, bro. Because there's a lot of teams that are kind of like the Cowboys where they're metric centric, right? Where they're like, oh, we like him, but the arms are 2 inches too short. You know what I mean? Um, there are a lot of GMs that are kind of like this, right? So could Bane fall? And if he does, would the Cowboys even take him? That's the thing about it. I want them to put pressure on McClay to be like, just give us good football players, man. Forget your stupid metrics bullshit that you have installed here for acquisition. They've been drafting terrible on defense. It's proven history. It's out there. Um, those metrics are out there. He can't draft defense. And I think a big part of it is that, right? You passed on the Sante Samuel, productive player, didn't quite hit your height metrics. You know what I mean? But the dude could play. And there's other ones out there. Like there's a couple of safeties, some tight ends. I mean, they're all over the place with it. So Ruben Bain to me would be that. He is a modern Jerome Brown. All right. Anybody who's old school will remember Jerome Brown. Also came from the U, coincidentally. Same metrics, everything. Arm length, size. Back then, he was like 290 or something like this, 6'2", 6'3". But the guy could get to the quarterback, right? So I want that. I want guys who are good football players. I don't care for metrics. I don't, and I hope I hope they really pressure McClay into reevaluating that part of it because it's holding back getting good players. All right, Alvaro Reese, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Spencer Fano, Keldrick Falk, Jeremiah Love. Man, I think this would be a great pick for Boy Wonder over there and with the Saints. Really good player there. I think he would help him out. Caleb Downs, Francis Mooga. So we're on the clock, number 12. All right. Christian Parker. Do we go corner? Okay. Do we go secondary here, or do we look at D line linebacker? Let's take a look and see what we have available here. Yeah, you have to, and slowly but surely, some other people are finally calling these out. Man, I saw some dude put out an article or a tweet about some of the misses we've had on defense. Even my friend Tom Downey has done the video on it as well. So it's good to see other guys and people that I follow and respect very much, talking about this as well. So I like to see that, man, because they haven't been drafting good on defense. Um, let's see. Oh, let me look at the board here. What do we got? David Bailey, Mansour Delane staring us right in the face there. All right. So the game plan, and can you count on Bland? You know what I mean? Is Bland, if you draft the lane, are you looking at Chavon in the lane being your outside corners and Bland as your nickel? How do you feel about Deron Bland as your nickel, and then having Ravel and Mansour as your outside cornerbacks? How would you feel about that? All right. Jermon McCoy. I do not want to touch Jermon McCoy. That knee, the injury. I don't want injury players, dude. Um, Bailey, the edge rush. You're looking at the lane here. I'm gonna go with the. I think to me the lane is your top shelf, your blue chip, and for him to still be there, I'm gonna take him right there at number 12. All right. There went McCoy. There went Terrell. There was a little bit of a run there. All right. For right now, we're just gonna reject these. Maybe we'll do another one with trade downs. But for right now, we're gonna stick and pick. So let's take a look at who else went off. So we kind of started that run there. These corners went off. I like Avian Terrell, but I don't like him. I don't like him this high. Avian Terrell, I would take him at 20. If I took another defender at 12, I would turn around and take Terrell at 20. But he's gone. Bailey, Ty Simpson to the Jets. So that would be interesting. They're still chasing the white whale. They can't find a damn quarterback. The Jets are kind of like the Browns do. Like they just throw a lot of resources at quarterback and they can't hit. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Um, let's break down the rest of this. Peter Woods, Makai Lemon, wide receiver out of USC. There went Sonny Styles. Now, if you would have had Sonny Styles at 20, that would have been a steal. Let's see what we got left. We got our corner. All right. Excuse me. Let's look at defense. Let's kind of zone in on defense. Who's left on edge? TJ Parker. Mm, I don't really want to take him that high. Linebacker. CJ Allen's there. Does anybody have Anthony Hill over CJ Allen? Let me know in the chat box. I really like Anthony Hill, man. But how do you guys feel? How do you feel about CJ Allen versus Anthony Hill? Do you have one over the other? Allen, okay. Anybody have Hill over Allen? Let me know in the chat box. This fight's crazy over here, by the way. Man, what are we in the 5th round? Josiah Trotter. CJ Allen at 20. Let's look at our safeties here. Emmanuel McNeil Warren is sitting there. Keep an eye on that guy there, man. When you watch the Senior Bowl practices, when you watch the actual Senior Bowl, watch this guy. I think he's going to move up some boards. Could be safety too. Come out of this draft here, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I like him. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dylan Thieneman as well. I like Zakee Wheatley. I like a lot of these safeties, man. Bud Clark's another good one. Deshaun Singleton, you can get him later. He would be a guy that would fit, the Cowboys and what Parker likes. But he could probably be had in the 5th, the later round kind of guy. But I don't think we're going to go safety there. Let's look at who's left at edge. Parker over to Parker would be a fit. Cassius Howe. And he's sitting there as well. Akeem Mezador will also be at the Senior Bowl. Any Mezador fans out there? Caden McDonald would be one guy that would be considered. Caleb Banks as well. Like I said, I think it would be interesting to see what they do with Kenny Clark. If they don't bring him back, these guys should be in play at the end of the first. Caden McDonald or Caleb Banks. Big guys up the middle. You pair one of those guys with Quentin Williams, and you're cooking with grease. So we got our cornerback. Who do we want here? I think we're gonna go with. Let's see who's left here. Let's change it up here. Let's go ahead and go for CJ Allen right here, dude. Let's go ahead and make that happen here. We'll go ahead and make that happen. Let's see how the rest of this shakes out. There went KC. Okay, there went Emmanuel. The beginning of the second. There went Hill. These are all second round grade type of dudes. I have 12 first round grades myself. Some people have 14, 15 at the most. It's not a super deep first grade kind of class. So a lot of these guys that you're looking at in the second could be there, could be a Cowboys pick in a trade down scenario. And that it would be fine. All right. My boy won. Justin Gaethje. Let's go, baby. Got the Englishman out of here. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That's what I want to see. What a hell of a fight, though. Got him. Got him. So Cowboys right now, bleeding picks. Don't have a pick until the 4th round, so let's reject this. And let's make our pick, bro. We're here in the 4th round. You know what I mean? So who's left? We got our corner. We got our linebacker. We're in the 4th round. There's Jacob Rodriguez sitting in the 4th. Harold Perkins got Aiden Fisher as well. Another good linebacker. Red Murdoch, another one. Got a lot of good linebackers here to choose from the fourth round, but we already got CJ Allen, right? But I'm not opposed to double dipping, bro, because the linebackers they really didn't do much to impress me. Let's look at edge. Malachi Lawrence out of UCF. Vincent Anthony. Gabe Jackus. He'll be at the Senior Bowl. I have a 3-4 grade on him, so he's sitting here. He's sitting here within the range that I have him as. Gabe Jackus. He'll be a rotational guy, obviously. Derek Moore. Romello Height, older player. I think you will see him kind of drop in the draft here because the age is just very prohibitive. 25, right? Going on to 26, so just very old player, right? So those are edge guys there, fourth round. Not really feeling any of those guys there. Dante Corleone, the Godfather. He's sitting there. Dude, Zane Durant. I like him. He'll be at the Senior Bowl. Zane Durant. Keep an eye on him. I like him. Penn State's got some good players coming out in this draft this year. Pretty good, man. It's I mean, they just couldn't put it all together and be competitive in the playoff. You know, they didn't even make the playoff, but they got some good players, man. Uh, might need to look at offense. Take a look at that offense. Taylon Green out of Arkansas. Carson Beck. Nicholas Singleton. Fourth rounder. You remember when we used to take running backs in the fourth and they would be good? Kevin Coleman. Tight end. Jack Andrews. I could see that. I could see the Cowboys taking this dude right here. I could see it. Oh, it's actually Tanner Cozell as well out of Houston. I could see it. I could see that happening. One of these two guys right here. I could see it. Yeah, let's look at our tackles. Let's look at our guards. I don't think we're gonna get a guard. I think our guards are good. Man, are we gonna go defense again? I think we are, bros. And they need it, bro. We need defense. So let's look at we got our linebacker. We're in the fourth round. Oh, let's get our safety here. Let's go Zakee Wheatley right here. Fourth round. Yeah, let's go right here. Where goes Zakee Wheatley here? Onward to the fifth round. Shout out to everybody. Hope everybody's doing good in this winter storm 2026, wherever you're at. Hunker down, staying away from the ice, watching UFC, and spending my mock drafts here with you guys. Can't ask for anything better than that, man. You know what I'm saying? There with the UH tight end. Let's see where we're at. Simulator. Okay, here we go. Fifth round. There went Nicholas Singleton to the Steelers. Carson Beck, I feel like he's been playing college football forever. There went Bud Clark, and then another one to keep an eye on there for a Parker special. There went Klubnik to Miami. I don't know why they took him, but that's a simulator, right? So Let's reject this. We're on the clock, 5th round. And there's Deshaun Singleton, a guy that I mentioned earlier. Toff, he's available. Still got some safeties available, man. It goes a little bit deep for safety, man. Cornerbacks, we got a corner. Do we double dip at linebacker? Aiden Fisher and Jacob Rodriguez are still there, dude. I think I'm gonna go Jacob here, still here in the 5th. Just give me a good ass linebacker, double dip. CJ Allen, Jacob Rodriguez. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go, man. Let's dominate, dude. You know what I mean? Let's just revamp that linebacker room and just let's go to war, baby. All right. They could double dip at linebacker. Could happen. It probably needs to happen. All right. So let the simulator continue. That went off. Jack injuries. There he went. Keep an eye on him. Cowboys, they like him. They like those Texas tight ends too, man. So could be a guy that they're going to throw into the mix with one of these later picks. So don't be surprised. Akeem Mezzador. He'll be at the Senior Bowl. We'll see what he does. I like to see the practices. It kind of shows something, but they gotta have a good practice, and then they gotta show up in the game too. Like there's been a lot of times where these guys they do good in the Senior Bowl practice, but then they kind of disappear in the game, or they don't even play. I think what was his name? Jermaine. I remember. Yeah, he had a badass practice. Jermaine. The hell was his name, dude? From the Jets. He was like the freaking practice god, but during the game, I don't even know if he had any snaps. I think he just said, "Hey, I did enough in practice. That was it." What was his name? Jermaine Johnson. Anyway, um, I want to see them do good in practice and have a good game. You know what I mean? So I don't want to just see practice and then they sit out the game. That ain't gonna cut it. We're on the clock here, 5th round. Edge, Derek Moore, he's available out of Michigan. Malachi Kamara. I'm sorry, Makan Kamara. I like this guy here, man. If you guys haven't seen Kamara out of Indiana, he's pretty good, man. 5th round. You got a couple options here. More height, still hanging around. I like I like I like Kamara, and I think he could go there anywhere from the 5th and onward. Defensive tackle. Let's see who's still here. Um, yeah, K part here. Shout out to Danny Savage for putting me on to DeMonte K part. You look at his 2025 film. He did look he outplayed Woods, right? Peter Woods. So keep an eye on this dude, man. DeMonte K part. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna take him here, 5th round. Big dude. Look at that. He's got those arms too. Just a big, nasty defensive tackle. Put him in the mix. An upgrade over Osa Odiggy. Doesn't do crappa, and we're gonna draft him. We're gonna put K part in the mix. Let's do it. Here we go. He's a Cowboy. All right. So there's our 5th round draft. Defensive draft. It could happen, man. I mean, you need a lot on defense. Obviously, we'll see what they do in free agency, and we're still in January. So, this is pre Senior Bowl, pre-free agency, but I like what we did here. Stick and pick, Mansour Delane, CJ Allen, Zakee Wheatley, Jacob Rodriguez, and DeMonte K. Park. What a hell of a haul. What a hell of a haul, man. We gave Parker some groceries. Man, that defense is upgraded across the wall, bro. I love it, man. I love that defense, bro. I love it very much, man. Um, but yeah, man, I think that's gonna be it for tonight, man. We've been on for an hour now. Thought about doing another one, but getting kind of late now here over where I'm at. But I appreciate you guys. It's fun. Hope everybody is staying safe from Snowmageddon. Hunker down. Hopefully everybody's power stays up. Shout out to everybody that watched live, everybody watching on the replay. Can't do this without you guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat box. Great conversation as usual. Great commentary. Great questions. Appreciate you guys. And we'll continue to do this every Saturday that's possible. Saturday night antics, like I say, man. We'll really probably use a lot of our Saturday nights for mock drafts, live mock drafts. During the week, I'll give you my official mock drafts. I gave my four round pre Senior Bowl mock draft. So if you missed that, go back and rewatch that one. And we'll have more of these as we get through. But I do have my free agency video coming up as well. Next Frisco Report, Mike and I are going to break down the Senior Bowl, talk a bit more about these guys. But that's all I have tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys joining, and I'll see you all for the next event. Peace out, everybody.